Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. For this project, I'll be using the Arched Lattice Circles die and Coordinating Layers stencil set from the new This Calls for Confetti collection. There's also a matching die that cuts out this beautiful arched lattice. For the sentiment, I'm using Alice's birthday sentiments. These were designed to go with the cake die, but they work beautifully for all sorts of projects. As I create today's card, I'll bring in a few additional supplies. As always, I encourage you to use what you have in your collection, but if you would like a list of the items I'm using, one has been provided for you in the description below, along with my affiliate link to the This Calls for Confetti shop. Let's go ahead and get started with the project. I'm going to start by showing you how to cut out an arch-shaped card base. I'm going to place this arch die onto a piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to set my top plate where I want the cutting to stop. This is about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the top of the die. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. It's going to cut out the arch shape, but the top will remain uncut. Now I'm going to rotate this and place the arch die on the opposite end. I'm going to use a little bit of temporary tape to hold this in place. Once again, I'll lay that cutting plate in a way so that it doesn't cut through the top portion of the arch, and then I'll run this through the die cutting machine. Once this is all cut out, I just need to snip the final section with scissors. And I'm going to gently fold this in half to form our arch card. Next, I'm cutting a matching arch from white mixed media cardstock. This heavier weight paper is perfect for the ink and glazing techniques I'm going to show you. I'm going to be using 2 mediums on my card. I'll be using fossilized amber distress oxide ink. I'm also going to be using a blue glaze. There are 2 parts to this stencil. This one has all of the delicate details. The second layer has the dots. You can use these individually or in conjunction with each other, which is what we're going to do today. I'm going to start with the inking first. I've placed my arch onto a silicone mat, and I'm going to lay my stencil over the top. The design is a smidge smaller than the actual arch cut, so you have a nice little frame around the edges. Now I am using a light touch so that I don't disturb the delicate stencil. This is also going to give me some soft shadows and a lovely wash effect without harsh lines. When I remove the stencil, you can see what a beautiful lattice design this creates. Now, like I said, you can leave this as is, but we're going to bring in that second stencil and add some of our glaze. I am going to take my time to make sure that this second stencil is aligned with the dots. With glazes, I prefer to use a silicone brush. I feel like it does a better job of spreading the medium, and it gives me a little bit more control. I am going to work slowly with a light touch, and then I'll scrape off the excess gently. Try not to press too hard. If you do, some of the glaze could end up oozing underneath the stencil. Now I like to let this sit a minute so that it forms a skin over the top before I lift the stencil. After leaving this for a minute or two, I'm going to carefully pull up this stencil, and you can see how gorgeous that texture is. I love the shimmer that this adds to the card. All right, everything is dry and it's time to put the card together. I'm going to add a simple grounding strip near the bottom of the panel. This is going to help anchor the design and give a place for a sentiment to sit. I'm going to use a soft blue to match the glaze. And then I'm going to bring in some yellow gingham ribbon with stitching and layer it over the top. I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive to adhere this panel to my card base. Since we use the same die, everything lines up perfectly. No card is complete without a little bit of This Calls for Confetti embellishments. I'm going to use white pearls in the center of the petal-like motifs to give it a soft, elegant finish. When you visit the This Calls for Confetti shop, you're going to see multiple pearl and confetti colors available that can match any theme or occasion. You can use those to customize this design really easy. For my sentiment, I initially planned on placing this on the front of the card. I used the Alice's Birthday Sentiments to stamp and heat emboss this onto some black cardstock. I cut the birthday phrase in half, and I'm going to adhere it inside of the card instead of placing it on the front. This way the texture and pattern on the front of that card can really shine. And here is our finished card. We used ink, glaze, dimensional pearls, and ribbon to create a card that's elegant yet easy to make. I love how these stencil layers give it depth without being overwhelming. If you would like some more crafty inspiration or you would like to share your own creations, come join us in the This Calls for Confetti Facebook group. It's a great place to connect, ask questions, and get inspired. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.